Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Tuesday, March 24th. It is 6:28 right now. We got market opening up shortly in about a minute. If you guys are looking to take the breakout for today is looking like it's going to be a buy for the 1 minute and a sell for the 10 minute. So the 10 minute here looks like it's going to be a sell price. Looks like it's dropping a little bit. We had this big spike from yesterday, and price still hasn't filled this gap. So this kind of spiked up yesterday and never really came back up or came back down. Um, yeah, I mean we have a flickering momentum here for a sell. So I mean it looks like price here is going to continue dropping. So it kind of depends on like how far you guys want to look at if you're looking on the 1 minute or the 10 minute, but it does look like price here is continuing to drop lower. We have a lot of sell side liquidity here. I mean, this is going to be tricky. If you guys remembered yesterday was pretty crazy. Pre-market, the yeah, pre-market, the ATR was like at 60 yesterday. It's a little high still, but it's more on the normal side. It's 27 right now. So we got price here kind of pushing out. Market is now open. It's stuck here at the sessions. Like I said, the 10 minute is indicating a sell. We have a ton of sell side liquidity over here on the 1 minute. So it's a little tricky. This is kind of what's been happening with the breakout lately. It's having a big spike up and down initially, and then it shows its direction after. So we're having this big push down right here. It's going the direction that we talked about right here on the 10 minute. So price is dumping right there. Let's see how far it pushed down so far. So it pushed down about 50 points, almost 60 points. It pushed up almost like 30 or under 30 points. So it pretty much just spiked both ways here. It spiked up about a little under 30 points and it spiked down about 60 points. It's stuck between the sessions right here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark up 629 and 715 down here. I'm going to be looking for my possible scalps here. And then for the daily, I don't think we're going to get that daily anytime soon, at least not yet, unless we get a big spike to the upside. So we'll see what happens. But again, if you guys were looking to take the sell here for the breakout following the 10 minute, the reason why I'd follow the 10 minute here is because obvious reasons, price is choppy, a lot of sell side liquidity, and price is stuck within the sessions here. But if you did take that sell side push right there, I think this thing, let's see, it dropped down about almost 60 points, but it hasn't completely dropped down yet. It's still technically active right now if you're going for 60 points. So we'll see what happens. But again, yeah, this thing hasn't pushed down 60 points. It hasn't pushed up or down 60 points. It pushed up about like maybe 25 points and it pushed down about 55 points. So it's on its way down to that 60 as we speak. I've been getting these connection loss on NinjaTrader all morning, guys. So I don't know if anybody else is getting these connection loss, but I've been
Connection
again
lost.
right there, connection loss. Um, basically every minute. So we talked about this the other day, right? Whenever I have these connection loss, it usually indicates something weird is happening in the market, um, like something unusual, which obviously it's been kind of moving pretty unusual here. So we'll see. I mean, I'm still gonna look for my scalps here if they come up, but I'm gonna be cognizant of like these connection loss that continue happening here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall bias for today. So overall bias for today is, let's see. I think it's pretty bearish right now. So let's take a look at the lower time frames. 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute price here is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. That indicates that we are in again, connection loss on NinjaTrader. This indicates that we are in a bearish trend on the shorter time frames. Now looking over here on the higher time frames, same thing. The 10, 30 minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour prices below the pivots. Trend meter is red. Pivots are angling down. The 1 hour is actually bullish, but it's more on the bearish side, so we'll say bearish neutral for the most part. For the fundamentals, let me double check that real quick.
Con-
Another connection lost. Literally every minute, I'm getting connection lost here, or even like twice a minute. I don't know if anybody's getting that as well, but if you guys can hear in the background, it's literally connection lost like twice every minute. Um, Yeah, so right now for the overall fundamentals, it's also leaning bearish. So it's leaning bearish, has a 7 out of 10 conviction. It's an expansion trend down environment. So we'll kind of see this play through if it does. But yeah, that's kind of what I have there for the fundamentals. Yeah, so we got bearish over here as well. So everything's bearish. I mean, we'll kind of see if it holds, but right now it's in a chop. You can see prices just going back and forth. I'm looking for some liquidity here to establish. The ATR right now is pretty normal. It's currently at 33, so it's not anything too high or too low. It's just where it should be. But you guys can see here that price is kind of just bouncing back and forth within this area. Here's the opening price. I'll just mark that up right there. For today, I don't think we have any high impact news aside from ADP employment change weekly, which was at 5:15 this morning. So looking over here at 5:15, we did have some high impact news, but it didn't really affect the market too much, not too much of a reaction right there. Um, yeah, not too much of a reaction there. Let's see, Daniel, I saw your message on Discord. Let me just reread it again. I didn't get a chance to respond to you. I think you're here, right? Yeah, I think you're here. So, for my sports picks, right now I'm only betting 200 per trade or per, yeah, they're considered per trade. I'm trading on Kalshi now. Um, yeah, so these are the trades from yesterday. I'm on a win streak right now. I'm on a 7 game win streak, so we're doing really good actually with the sports betting. Steven's really happy about his sports betting as well. He's been pretty much killing it as well. I think Steven's made some crazy gains. I think he's up 211%. Right, Steven? I mean, it's crazy how well he's doing. Yeah, he's up 211%. So he went from, I mean, this is crazy. Let me show you guys. This is Steven's account. Steven kind of screwed up in the beginning. I mean, he still screwed up yesterday. I don't know. He's been taking the wrong sports bets, but luckily the trades are the sports bets are still hitting. So this is Steven's account. This guy went from $77 to 241 in 2 days from March 21st until here. He made a couple of mistakes here and he lost a couple sports bets. So he started at 206, he went all the way down to 77, and he made his way back all the way up to 241. So he's back in profit. He made every all his losses back and then profit. So he's up 211% within 2 days because we've been on a win streak for the past couple of days. I've had 7 back-to-back wins, and Steven luckily has been catching all of the wins with me. Um, so yeah, Steven's putting in more money on that. And Steven, I think he's betting like 25 bucks per trade. So with $25 wager, he's made how much net profit? Not net, but I think from the losing point, Steven has made about 163.99. It's a pretty big gain. I mean, if you're comparing it in percentages, that's huge, right? For me, I'm betting about 200 per trade. So yesterday I won 352 on the San Antonio Spurs game, and then I won 309 off the Senators game, the Ottawa. So yeah, that's how much I'm betting right now. That's with a little over 200, with a little over 1,000 starting capital. So I started with I think, yeah, 1,000, and then I'm now at like 1,600 or something like that. So if you guys want a sports bet, I mean, with the sports betting, guys, I basically just transition my risk management from trading to sports bet. It's the same thing. It's the same type of analysis. I base everything off technicals, fundamentals, quantitative data, and then I take the sports bets with the highest probability. So if you guys want to get into sports betting, I've started this sports betting group. I kind of just do this. I trade I take a sports bet every day. Um, I basically, if you guys haven't been following the group, basically what I do here is I'll post like 4 top plays for the day. And I usually only take the top two. Like yesterday, I posted Senators, Spurs, Rockets, and Lakers. I only take the top two because these are the top two plays for the day. These both had A++ ratings. Um, and yeah, we've been on pretty much on a win streak. We won Senators, Spurs the day before that. We won Hurricanes, Trailblazers, or Nuggets. And then the day before that, we won Illinois, just one play. So I usually tell people what plays I'm in, and then people just hop into it, specifically Steven. So if you guys are interested in that, it's just another venture that I kind of jumped into. I never really sports betted before or really watched sports like that, but I've gotten really good at it. So I'm starting to bet a lot more and increase. So yeah, guys, I jumped into Call Sheet. I use Call Sheet and I use Bet US. So I use a traditional sports book plus I use Call Sheet. I look to see where the odds are better, where I can make more money, and then I take the bets on there. But I do like Call Sheet because they do have a leaderboard, and also they allow you to pull out early. Call Sheet is kind of closer to futures trading because they're more of a predictions market than a sports book, and it's less manipulated because you're betting against other people. You're not betting against the house. So it is it's in person, I think it's better. So if you guys want to sign up to Call Sheet, I do have a link for you guys as well if you guys want to use it. Some of you guys here are on that. Daniel, you're in Reno though, so you can probably use a real sports book. So it's up to you what you want to use. But I do like Call Sheet because you can pull out early. So for example, if you're already winning and you're getting into the last quarter, you can pull out for like partial profit. Like yesterday for yeah, for yesterday, the Spurs were like pretty much killing Miami. So like what I was able to do, and I didn't do it, but I could have. Like by the fourth quarter, my total profit was 352. They were offering me to offload my positions for 350. So like I would have just gave up $2 and I could have just taken basically the full profit before the game even ended. But I didn't. I just let the play run to the end. So it's Kalshi's pretty cool. I didn't realize call shoe is allowed in the US. Polymarket isn't. We were looking at Polymarket before, and that's actually not included. So, Steven's asking if it can be automated. Yeah, it can be automated, but I mean, I wouldn't automate it. Well, for you specifically, Steven, because I feel like there's always something that you, or I mean, maybe it might be. I can't say for you specifically, because for you, I feel like there's a way you're gonna screw it up, whether it's automated or manual. Like yesterday, Steven's been taking the wrong bets pretty much every day. Um, so he's kind of been doubling up and tripling up on my bets because he takes the wrong bet. But then the bet still wins because I still pick the proper direction. So yeah, I mean. I don't know. I can't really say for you, Steven, because I feel like you screw it up manually, but you'll even screw it up even more if it was automated. So you kind of have to do it manually so you can check in with me. Like whenever Steven puts his bet in, he'll send me a screenshot. What did you send me yesterday, Steven? Steven did this like 2 times in a row. Yeah, like Steven sent me his bet yesterday. I'm like, bro, it's a wrong bet. The bet literally says I literally told him I was betting yeah, I said Spurs negative 2.5 spread. He bets the money line. I'm like, what the bro, this is a completely wrong bet. And then he bets it again. So yeah, I mean, I get it. If you're new to sports betting, you're probably gonna bet wrong. But Steven, he's you're a funny guy, Steven. You're funny, and it's like, yeah, Steven said that was some confusion. Now I get it. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it worked out in your favor. Either way, because you bet the money line, Steven. Your bet wasn't necessarily wrong because we were still betting for the Spurs to win. It was just you just had the wrong bet because your odds were worse. I think let me see what your odds on that. Your odds were I mean they weren't horrible. You were at 165 odds. See, so you were basically winning 1.5 and then you put the actual right bet and it was 110. So like the lower the odds, like because before it was like 150, so you're getting paid out less. But for this right here, you have 110, you have better odds. So you're basically betting the same thing, but making more money on it. So it's all good, Steven. Yeah, it's all good. Kenny said, when I place bets, I don't go anything less than 1 to 1 because of phantom income risk. Um, Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to. It's hard to get like a 2 to 1, but yeah, 1 to 1 usually. I never go anything lower than that, so I never do odds that are like negative 250 because if it's negative 250, it's gonna be negative risk reward. Um, I usually do it if it's if it's above like 1 times your wager or close to 2 times your wager. Usually closer to 2 times your wager. And if it's not able to fill at that point, I just wait for better odds to come up. Yeah, if you guys want to use Call Sheet, I do have like a referral code. If you guys want to use it, we both get 25 bucks. I mean, 25 bucks is whatever for me because I'm betting a lot more. But for you guys, if you guys just want to play around with Call Sheet, it's you could bet with like $1 if you wanted to. So it's fun to bet with. There's another guy in here, Eric, that usually he bets crazy though. Like that guy's betting like in the thousands, and he's losing. Yesterday, this guy went into he bet against me. I bet with for the Spurs, and he bet for Miami, and I'm like, bro, why would you bet against me? And he lost a shit ton of money, but it's whatever. It's some people just like to do the contrarian thing. NM said coming back after 2 years, and you're still giving Steven shit. Steven's still hanging in there. No, Steven, I know. So if you guys have been around for a while, NM said, it's been 2 years and Steven's still here pushing. Yeah, no, Steven's here. He's never left. He's been here hanging out. All right, guys. So there's nothing here right now. We're looking for some entries, specifically my scalp entries. There's nothing going on. It's really just kind of chopping up back and forth. So let me go over here real quick and let me mark up some structure. So we don't really have much going on. We just have price chopping up within this resistance and this support right here. And before we continue, thanks Vince for the reminder. Um, okay, let's do this disclaimer real quick before we continue on, guys. So before we continue, just a reminder that I am a professional trader, commodity trading advisor, CTA, registered with the CFTC NFA. This is my NFA ID. Futures trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You can lose more than your initial investment. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The stream is for informational and educational purposes only. Nothing shown or discussed is a solicitation to buy or sell any futures contracts or to participate in any trading program. I may hold positions in the market discussed. My views may change at any time based on market conditions. If hypothetical or back-tested results appear during the stream, they have significant limitations and do not represent actual trading. So with that being said, guys, let's continue on with our analysis. Thanks, Vince, for the reminder. And there's still no entries here. So I'm looking for my scalp entry from now until 7:15. If we don't get that between that time period, I'll probably look for the daily entry here for a buy. So the daily entry is going to be for a buy here. I don't know if we'll get it anytime soon because price is still dropping further and further. But we'll see what happens here as price continues to fall through. We don't have any liquidity here from 6:30 up until now. I'm looking for basically 3 levels of liquidity for me to establish a directional push. There's no directional push here. You can see prices just going back and forth. It pushes up, rejects, and fakes out from the sessions right here. It comes back below, fakes out, and just continues to go back and forth between this midsection right here, right? We have a lot of sell side liquidity here that was developed and produced pre-market. So like from London session up until now, we had a bunch of sell side liquidity. Price came down here, never really pushed up. So there's a lot of liquidity to grab over here. Um, yeah, there's a lot of liquidity to grab over here. And we'll kind of just, I mean, obviously we'll just wait and see where this ends up going. Yeah, Kenny said just protection protocol because if we go break even, then we still have to pay 10% taxes. Um, Actually, you don't. So, not sure because they give you, well, it depends on what you trade with, Kenny. If you're trading with like call, this is why I like call sheet because call sheet is regulated in the US. So you get a 1099. So if you go to break even, you're not going to owe anything because you don't have any net profit, right? So you actually don't pay 10% taxes if you go break even because It's documented that you didn't make any net money. And if you lose money, it goes, you can offset that against your tax liability. So, I mean, I don't know what you're betting on. I guess you're betting on something else. Like if on the sports books, yeah. Like for me, if I'm betting on sports on Bet US, it's hard to track, what your gains are because they don't give you actual tax documents at the end of the year. But with Kalshi, it's the same as a futures market. The thing I like about Kalshi is that they're regulated as a futures prediction market. So it's kind of like trading, futures like what we're doing here. And I'm assuming it's taxed at that rate too. So if because it's in the futures market, it's taxed at a 60/40. So I'm assuming the tax rate is going to be a lot lower too. I'm still deciding if I want to trade on a personal or a business account. I'm on a personal right now, but with Kalshi, you can only have one or the other. You can either have a personal or you can either have a business account. Let me see. Yeah, and it's pretty cool what you can do with Kalshi. You can bet on like a lot of different things. Let's see if I can log into Kalshi without sharing my my personal information. I can show you guys. I mean, I'm not going to bet on anything else, but yeah. So I'll just show you guys Kalshi real quick. If you guys want the link, I'll send you guys a link. I don't know what the referral link is. Account. Yeah, because with Kalshi, if you want to have a business account, you can register as an institutional account, which I can personally because I am registered as a professional trader with CFTC. I don't know if a normal person can do that, but I don't know, I'll figure it out. I was trying to figure out where the thing's at. Here, I'll show you guys the link real quick. There's nothing going on in the market, guys, so don't worry. You're not missing out on anything here. But yeah, this is what Kalshi looks like. It's pretty cool. Um, You can bet on everything. You can bet on elections, politics, sports. Like if you want to bet on the war going on right now, you can bet as a U.S.-Iran nuclear deal is going to happen before 2007. You can bet on it happening or not, or before August. And then you can see how much money is on these bets. Like they've already bet 2 million on this. And all these numbers are legit because they're registered with the CFTC. So they actually have to report this stuff properly. Um, and it's cool because they have what's it called? So they have a leaderboard here, which is pretty cool. So this person right here, I basically look at what everybody bets on. Most people bet on sports. Like this guy, JP Morgan Chase, he's up like 447,000. He's made a total of 1.21 million overall. I'm a little guy right here. I've only made a certain amount. So I've made a profit of about 361. That's just one bet from last night. I've traded about 1,207. I've only made four bets and whatnot. But yeah, this is my portfolio. So I started with 1,000. I'm currently at 1,411. And I've only taken two bets on here or one bet or whatever. It hasn't cleared all of my history. But yeah, these are like or I don't know why it doesn't load up here, but I should have a history of like three or four trades. But I'll give you guys a link for Kalshi. Kalshi is pretty cool. The other sports betting website that I use is a Bet US because in California there's not very many options. But yeah, I found Kalshi to be pretty cool and useful. Yeah, Kenny City, yeah, not on college, but on the books. Just good for people to know. Yeah, exactly. Um, Kalshi actually won't be transitioning to that because Kalshi is a futures market. So Kalshi is very similar to like trading in the market. When you're buying on Kalshi, you're buying shares. So they're never going to be a sports book, Kenny. It's a different type of market. That's how they can get away with allowing residents from California and other states. They'll never turn into a sports book because they're not a sports book. So the difference with Kalshi, this is another cool thing too that a lot of people don't realize is with Kalshi, you're betting against other people. So for example, if I bet on sports, like we'll just look at what sports is today. I don't know about these other sports. Let's just go to a big sport. Okay, so let's just say this for example, right? We have Sacramento versus Charlotte. Charlotte. There's 299,000 bets already placed. You're betting against other people. So if me and you were to bet on this, Kenny, you're not betting against a sports book. You're betting against me. So if I was to buy, if I betted that Charlotte's going to win and you bet that Sacramento's going to win, you have opposite sides of the trade. So it's like normal trading, but it's just instead of trading YM, you're trading on a sports team. So like for example, if you were to trade this, let's just use an example here. If you wanted to trade Euro USD, right? So if you're to trade Euro USD, this right here, like if you're betting that the US dollar is uh is stronger than the euro. So for example, if you want to bet on the US dollar, you'll sell this, right? If you're betting on the euro, you're going to buy this. So that's what I mean. It's this is what it's like. It's like trading a forex pair or a futures pair. Kalshi will never be a sports book because it's not a sports book. It's a predictions market. So you're not betting against sportsbook. There's no sportsbook that's creating odds. It's if there's a lot of people betting on Charlotte, then it's going to be more expensive. You're not going to make as much money versus if you're betting on Sacramento. So Kalshi will never be like a sports book. So you don't have to worry about that. Um, they're just a predictions market. Kenny said if the court rules as a gambling market, I'll let you. Yeah, I mean, you said you know how it works. Well, I'll let you think what you think then, because the thing it's a different type of market, bro. I mean, I don't. It's it's a predictions market. You're just what you're doing. You're betting against other people. So I'm not going to go into it. But I mean, if that's what you think it is, then that's what you think it is. There's no point in kind of explaining my side of it because you already made your decision, right? That's what you think it is. So yeah, again, what I said, guys, is Kalshi is different because you're betting in a market against other people. It's a centralized market. There's bets against bets. When you're betting on a sports book, you're betting against this. You're betting against the house. You're like at a casino. So it's never going to be the same way. But that's just my opinion. And then Kenny has his own opinion. Yeah. So whatever it is, I mean, if you guys can see the difference, you can see the difference. If you don't, then you don't. So yeah, there's no trades right now, guys. I know we're talking about other stuff on the side, but there's really nothing going on here at the moment. There is nothing, like literally there's nothing going on. Price has been sitting right here at the opening price since open. It's currently it's about to be 7 o'clock. So about 30 minutes in, price has not gone anywhere. There's no liquidity building up from the bottom side. There's no liquidity building up on the top side. Um, we are currently now just watching for price here to go in kind of like in either direction. We don't really have a bias here. I mean, we do have a trend bias, but there's price isn't really pushing either direction here. This liquidity was established pre-market, so this came up around 6 o'clock. It hasn't been grabbed yet, or not, it's been grabbed right here, but it hasn't been mitigated. So price is trying to push above this area, but but we just don't have anything here at the moment. So we'll see. Let's see. Masij is asking, what bets are you taking on Kashi, Sean? Yeah, so I compare the two. I compare the sports books and I compare Kashi. Whatever the odds are better on. The thing with Kashi is that you can the thing with Kashi is that it changes more often than the sports book. The sports book is usually pretty efficient. It just depends on what people are trading because obviously people are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're uh they're looking at both. So whatever the odds are better, like usually for the sports book, if you already at good odds, then you should just take the bet. But with Kashi, if people start to weigh a different side, the odds kind of differ a bit. And I'll show you the difference. So that's what I use there, and then I'll show you bet US just to show you guys the difference between the odds because the odds are different sometimes. It just depends on what people are betting on. Like I said, the whole Kashi market is dependent on how many people are betting on something specific. Versus the sports book, they're already They're already kind of baked in, like they were efficient already. So it just depends on what you're betting on. I'll look at like what's like a good play for the day, and then I'll compare the odds for you guys to show you guys what the differential is. I mean, there's nothing going on here, so don't worry. You guys are not missing out on any trades. Trust me, if I was to get into if a trade was to come up, I'd take it, but there's really nothing going on here at the moment. Let's see. Eagle is asking, hey, what's up, Paul? Paul said, hey, Sean, I'm doing well. My wife and I decided we were going to move to Utah. We will move in the summer. Check your Discord DM from me. Uh, cool. Yeah, so nice. Paul is moving to Utah. That's cool. So nice work. I don't think Paul's coming back to trading for himself. There's a link right there, Eagle. It's for the whoop. When you sign up for the whoop, it'll have the link for the Discord there. It'll link you to the Discord. All right, we got price pushing up. We just mitigated this first level of liquidity right here. It's finally pushing in a direction. We don't have another confirmation here yet. So we got about 15 minutes from now until my cutoff for entries. So obviously I'm looking for my entry here, but if we don't get it, I'm not going to be forcing anything. But yeah, I'm running my AI right now to see which sports bets I'm going to be looking to take today. So for the most part, I'm looking for inefficient markets where the odds haven't caught up yet. I mean, even if they did catch up, the cool thing is that with Kalshi, you can bet mid game. Like you can bet during halftime, you can bet while the game is active. On the sports books, you technically can't bet like once the game has already started. All right, so we have one level of liquidity here. It's not established yet, but it's come up right there. So we have one bullish liquidity. It's a very small one. If that's the case, I'm looking for more bullish liquidity to push up higher and higher, and then allow for opportunity for entry here. Right. We don't have it yet, but it is coming up. We have a pending buy signal here as well. I don't know if it'll hold, but this is actually the entry from yesterday. So the entry from yesterday happened right here around 7 o'clock. You can see the marker right there, which just came up. Yeah, Masich is such a good business model. Kalshi themselves take no risk. They just collect fees as a middleman. They make so much because fees are so high. Yeah, exactly. I think per contract or per bet, they're taking like a couple dollars or so. And like I said, there's like a ton of volume here. So like each bet or each game has like it tells you how much volume is there. So you think about it, each time a game plays, they're making like a couple 100,000 to like $1 million, which is pretty insane, right? And you can bet on anything. You can bet on international elections, stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff here to bet on. I mean, I wouldn't bet on it. If you look at the top bettors on Kalshi, everybody bets on sports. Not a lot of people bet on like election and stuff like that. Those are like fun bets. You can even bet on trading stuff. Like for example, if you think gold is going to go up, you can bet on like you bet on crypto if you wanted to. Like if you think Bitcoin is going to be between 60,000 and 64,000, you can bet on this too. And this is kind of interesting because you can use this for your own analysis too. If you're trading Bitcoin yourself, you can kind of see like where the sentiment is, right? Where everybody's betting for price to be at some point. And you can see like a lot of people here think price is going to be between 45,000. And this just goes to show like what people think, not what the market thinks, but what people think. Because these are all people bets, right? They're not like we mentioned earlier, they're not sports bet books or anything like that. All right, we got a second level of liquidity right here. It's not a big one. These levels aren't huge, but nonetheless, it's a level of liquidity. So I'm looking for a third one here. We have one, two. For that third one, it's got to be above 10 points. So I'll be following it here. It's 7:04 right now, so we have some time. But I'm looking for a third level of liquidity here, a bullish liquidity. If that's the case, I'll look for price to establish opportunity for entry. So right here we have price push up, push up. I'm looking for that third push up, and then I'm gonna look for possible entry there, if possible. So I'm watching for it. Hasn't came yet, but I am watching for it. We have this 10-minute momentum right here. So if you're looking at this is going to be kind of tricky because it depends on what you guys want to take. If you guys want to take the daily entry, you can. If you want to take the scalp here on the 1 minute, you can do that as well. So I'll be following this here. It has about 5 minutes left on it, so it's got a lot of time. But it looks like the entry point might happen right here around the 250 price point. It's a pretty big push up, but it is a push up back to the sessions right there. All right, so we might have the scalp here, guys. No. Okay, so this liquidity is too small. I measure this right here this as the 10 because I need it to be at least 10 points. This is smaller than 10 points, so there's no entry there. Yeah, there's this and it got invalidated right there. So it just mitigated the pending liquidity and there's no liquidity there. Now this here has disappeared as well. So I'm gonna keep following here at 7:05. We have about 10 minutes until 7:15. We got price pretty much pushing away from this area. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Masisha, the markets like the New York Stock Exchange are getting scared. No one's pushed this much of their market share before. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's it's crazy how like a lot of these new prediction markets are coming up. The prediction markets are really they're just getting like their issue isn't really with the normal trading market. It's more so with the gambling, with like the Indian casinos and the regular casinos and stuff, because obviously they're taking market share from them. And that's kind of where they're getting kickback. I know Arizona's getting some kickback. Initially, I didn't like Kalshi because I thought that they were going to have some real kickback, but I looked into it and I've really seen the differences between Kashi and a sports book, and it's totally different. Like because we're familiar with the futures market, we have an idea of like how it works, right? The thing is like Kalshi's not the only company doing it. Robinhood actually offers it too. So if you guys are on Robinhood, they actually have a futures predictions market too. So they're not the only company that is doing the same type of business model. Like Robinhood's a big company too to be jumping in on that type of business model. Plus Polymarket, plus there's gonna be more. It's just it's just a matter of time. Steven said you can even bet during the election. Yeah, you could. I mean, you could bet on elections in different countries too, like Europe, India, Middle East, anything. It's a lot of stuff that you can bet on. All right, so we got price pushing up right here, guys. We have another level of liquidity right here. This is going to be a little tricky. I don't really like this one as much because this level is pretty huge. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like second thinking about this one here because it's so big. If anything, I might have it a little lower, my entry. So I might not have it at that very top part, but maybe a little lower right here for it to come back down and retest. All right, if this candle closes red, this might be a little tricky entry for the scalp, guys. If you guys want to take it, you're gonna have to move really quickly on this one because whenever it closes red like this, what might happen is it might just fill real quick and then you'll just miss the entry. I think I might hold off on this one. I might try to get in. Or actually, looks like might have opportunity here. So 317, I'll probably get in a little lower. 314. I mean, 310 might be good too. 310 might be good. All right, let me check the daily entry. So this is going to be tricky because this is going to line up with the daily entry. The daily entry actually moved up a little higher to like 300. So you can either get in right here at 317 or you can get in a little lower at 310. I think 310 might give you better opportunity. I haven't gotten into the position yet. I'm still waiting to see how this here moves because what might happen is it might establish another, like it might never come down to fill and it'll just create a new level up here. If it creates a new level, we're going to be too close to the sessions up here. So there might not be a retest of it. Yeah, I haven't put in my order yet. Let me see. I'm gonna take my time with it. 46, 310. Yeah, it's not coming back down to fill. It's doing kind of what I expected to happen because this fill has to happen right away. It's not something that I just leave waiting. Okay, so there was two opportunities here for it to fill. It'd be at 317 at the top end, or it would be at 310, which you would cover. It'd be at a whole number, and you'd also cover the actual liquidity zone. But price never came back down to fill this point, right? So with that being said, there's not really much here to. I mean, there just wouldn't be a fill here. So if you guys want to leave your order there, you guys can. I wouldn't leave it there for more than like 2 minutes. We're already 2 minutes in, so I would just cancel the order if it doesn't fill right now. What might happen is this might establish another level up here. But the problem with this level is that it's going to be right at the sessions. There's a New York high right here, and I wouldn't risk taking a trade into the sessions. The red flags here still stand. So no fill right there. Yeah, no fill. The daily entry. So the daily entry fill is going to be right here at 46,300. So I'll watch this right here. I'm also not in this position yet, but I'm going to watch it. This is for the daily entry. This right here is too close. I mean, if you wanted to get in right here at 350, you could have. This would be the closest whole number. So Brooke retested the 350. For me personally, I wouldn't get in right there. It's just way too close. The candle closed right here at 353. It's a 3 point differential. So technically the entry would happen down here at the 300. I don't know even know if this will get filled. Yeah, this thing just might take off and not even fill it and just hit its target before it pulls back for retracement. But again, if you guys want to take the daily entry, it's going to be right here at 46,300. If you want to take the I mean, I would just get in at the 46,300 at this point if you're looking for that retest because they line up together, right? You have the scalp right here, and then you'll have the daily entry together with it. But I don't think it'll pull. I take I take that back. There's anything that can happen in this market, right? Ideally, I wouldn't really see this pull back. But every time I say it's not going to pull back, it pulls back. It might even pull even further. So it might pull back pretty strongly. This is what I don't like about this type of market that we're currently in. We get these random big spike candles that come out of nowhere, right? Like for example, right here, we have these big, like you guys can see these candles were kind of small. They weren't like super small, but they're small enough, right? 10 points, 20 points, 30 points, and then you get these huge candles that kind of pop out of nowhere. And this is how we got screwed yesterday. If you guys remember the entry we took yesterday, um, for the retest, see like this is what I'm most concerned about. Getting just a huge red candle out of nowhere to spike you out, and then it pushes all the way back up. Right? We saw the same exact thing happen yesterday. So this is why I was hesitant on taking the entry. I didn't take the entry yet. And it's a good thing I didn't take it because look how you would have gone stopped out. It's just not worth the risk. So no entry there for me. I mean, this thing came super late anyways. The entry, this happened 6 minutes later. Like I said, if it doesn't fill within the first 2 minutes, just cancel it. The daily entry right now is currently active and it's running. I'm not in this one either. If anything, I'll probably watch for a possible discount. So if price comes down to like close to the stop area, I'll look for it to push up from here and then continue up higher. So I'll kind of watch from here to see. So this over here, it actually didn't mitigate the entire zone yet. It would have stopped you out, but it didn't mitigate the entire zone. So this is exactly how we got stopped out yesterday, right? Price came down, huge red candle just stopped out, and then it pushed all the way back up. So that daily entry is currently running up, guys. If anybody jumped into that at the 300, I was getting close to jumping back into it, but it just happened too quickly. You can see these candles, these big candles kind of come out of nowhere. Um, what I was looking for is I was looking for a smaller green candle to just close here and then push up. But this is the exact setup that stopped us out yesterday. I'm glad I caught that, or else I would have been stopped out again. I would have been pretty pissed off seeing this right here. Um, yeah, it's the same exact thing. Let's see if I have the screenshot from yesterday's trade. It's literally the same exact thing that happened. It's
connection.
yeah, right here. So this is what happened to us. We got into this buy over here. It literally stopped out with a huge red candle and then it shot all the way through our position for like triple profit. Literally what happened here too. Look what happened here again. Price, this big red candle just stopped it out. And then I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes all the way back up to the sessions right there, where it basically gives double profit. So you have to be able to read the market, guys. Like, a lot of people will try to tell you that you can just apply the same strategy and just do the same thing every single day. I've been trading for a long time, and I've learned that that's not the case. The market is always changing. Last week, the market was a little more directional. It was ranging, but it was a little more directional. This week, it's like directional but choppy, and then you kind of get these big candles that come out of nowhere in a sense. Um, so the real skill of trading is not getting into the position. It's really knowing when to sit out of it. And today's one of those days. I saw the same thing happen that happened yesterday, and I didn't want to get caught up in it. I used my criteria where if the order didn't fill within the first 2 minutes, it would just be a canceled order. It never filled until like 6 minutes later. And then now price here is just chopping up between these two zones. So the daily entry is currently running right now. I'm not in it. Like I said, I was waiting for this here to confirm that price was actually going to push back up. Um, but it didn't. It's basically just faked out. It's still going sideways right here. All right, so we got nothing here to work with. Price here is just, and we just created a bigger range. So we have this lower range right here. Now I created this big range. It's kind of just going back and forth within this area. All right, let's see what we got here. So there's only two trades for the day, or sorry, two sports bets for the day, guys. It's going to be Knicks versus Pelicans, Knicks money line. The odds are not good at all. So let me check the odds real quick. Let me check. They're negative 350, so I'm not going to bet on that. The odds are not good on that one. Let's see. Eagles said yesterday's trade absolutely spiked through your stop loss. Was the slippage like 26? It was somewhere around there, Eagle. Yeah. The slippage was horrible. That's one thing too that I was more concerned about too about today. I was worried that we get a spike and then it would give me some slippage. Literally the same thing that happened yesterday. So I'm not in any positions right now. If you guys are in anything, we'll continue following. But right now, yeah, so the odds for the Knicks, Pelicans versus Knicks are not good on the sports book. Right now they're negative 350 odds, which here let's look at the difference over here. So like for example, if we were to bet on the Knicks, 26. So the odds here they're not as good. See, the odds here are negative 381. So if I was to bet on this game, which I'm not going to because the odds are so bad, the odds here are negative 381. It's not dollars, but those are just the odds. And if you look at the sports book here, the odds are negative 350. So the odds are actually better on the sports book. So if I was to bet, I usually look at the sports book and I look at Kalshi. I'll see which one's better. This is probably going to change as we get closer to the game. So as we get closer to the game, if the Knicks start to suck and New Orleans starts to like catch up with them, then this number is going to change right here. So the odds are based on like whatever the opposite side is. It's because right here there's 76% of people who are betting on New York and then 24% who are betting on New Orleans, right? So yeah, this is not a good bet. I wouldn't take that one. Let me see what else is here for the day. So we have that, and then we have a hockey game, which I will probably bet on. So Carolina Hurricanes versus the Montreal Canadiens. So let's see. This is going to be a Hurricanes money line bet. It's not a good bet, but it's an okay bet. So ice hockey. So if I was to bet on them, it'd be a 136 odds, which are they're okay. They're not amazing, but they're okay. So that they're like literally on point. So the odds over here are 135. So right here, if I was to win this bet, I'd make 74. If I was to bet over here, I'd make 73. So they're pretty much aligned. Again, this is because of the sentiment, right? 55% are betting on the Hurricanes, 45% are betting on the Canadians. So this is what I usually do. I'll look at both of the Kalshi and the sports book. I'll see what has better odds, and then I'll bet on that. If they're the same, then it just doesn't really matter for me. I'll probably go with Kalshi versus sportsbook because the cool thing with Kalshi is if you're in profit, you can pull out earlier. So yeah, you could pull out earlier. So if I was to bet 200, I my payout would be 346, which is usually what I bet per game. So I'll come back and take a look at that a little later. I'm not putting the bet in yet. I usually don't bet until closer to the match time. So I'm not really looking to jump in just yet. Let's see. Kenny said he's got no on Knicks over 10.5 points. Okay, cool. Spread bet. See, I don't like spread bets that are that wide. That's a pretty big spread. I mean, for NCAA, I usually am cool with those, like the college sports. But with the major league sports, it's tricky because those games are really tight. Here, let's see what the spread is on next. I'm assuming you took the regular spread, so 10.5. Yeah, because if you look at the sports book, it's at 8.5. So 10 is like pretty far out. Usually what I would do is I'd go smaller than what the sports book has. So like if the sports book has 8.5, I would probably go for like 6.5 on Kalshi or whatever other sports book is available. Because usually they're pretty efficient. Like they're pretty spot on. Like it's crazy how accurate the sports lines are when it comes down to the ending points. But yeah, no, good luck on your sports bet, Kenny, with the 10.5. I just don't like the major sports that are like that. I feel like the major sports are way more rigged compared to the the college sports. And that's just how it is, right? It's just how it is usually. It's easier for them to rig a major game versus smaller sports. All right, that daily entry is still running, guys. So if you guys are in the position, still running. Looks like Facundo here, he bought the daily at a discount at 46,285. Nice, okay. So we got it a little lower. Solid. See, this is the reason why I was a little more concerned about this entry here. This candle is so big that whenever you have a big momentum candle like that, there's two things that'll happen. It's either going to retrace down to the halfway mark. Let me mark up the halfway mark right here. So it looks like you're in a good position. If you're in the daily entry, guys, you're probably in a good position because it hasn't mitigated this halfway point yet. What I've and I'll show you some examples. There's another example right here. So like typically when you get a big candle like this, price will retrace to the halfway mark and then push in the direction, or it'll retrace to the entire candle and reverse on you, right? This hasn't happened yet. So because it's holding pretty strongly at the midpoint, it's probably going to keep pushing up higher. Here's another sell signal right here. See the midpoint of this one? It did the same exact thing, right? So price ended up retracing to the halfway point and then it reversed or it continued back down. Yeah, so it ended up continuing back down like that. Um, and that's just from, from observation. If you look at any of these big candles that come up usually, so here's another one right here. Price came to that midway point, and then it pushed right back up further. Um, Same with this one right here, this huge, huge candle right here. Price didn't actually come down to the midway point until like yesterday, and then it came back up. So here's the midway point. It came to that point, and then it pushed back up, and it came back down. So I do have good hopes for you guys here. Obviously, I want this trade to hit because I want my strategies to work. I'm not in this position with you guys, obvious reasons. This candle here is pretty big. If this candle wasn't huge like this, I would have been a little more inclined to take it, but the candle is just a little too big. Like I don't really like when the candle's bigger than the stop loss. So for example, for this one over here, it closed at 381, and she would have happened right here at the 400. See how this one, if you were to take this entry, the stop would have been bigger than the candle size. So like if the price was to push up to the candle and then reverse down, I'd be okay with that because I could survive the move. But for this one over here, this candle is just too big. So if it pulls back to the candle size, right, and then pushes up, you'll get stopped out before it reaches your target. The good thing with Facundo is that he actually entered at a discount, so he got in a little lower. So he might be able to withstand some more drawdown. So of course, I do hope this trade hits, but we'll kind of see. Yeah, Fagundo said based on your analysis, almost all the days that a huge candle appears with the buy signal, it spikes down and shoots the target, probably like 70% of the time. Yeah, I agree with you, Fagundo. I agree with you. That's usually what happens. So I do think this is going to hit. Like I said earlier, it's been respecting the midway point. So because it's respecting that, I do think it's going to continue up higher and then hit its target. We do have liquidity sitting up here as well, so it has a targeted area to reach, right? So there's two target areas here. First target area is going to be the sessions, New York low, and the next area is going to be the liquidity structure up there. So we'll keep following it. Yeah, with regard to liquidity break and retest, there just hasn't been anything here. Haven't seen anything come up. Yeah, exactly. Jonathan said it did a turtle soup move to stop us out. I've been seeing it. Jarrell said Jared's been loving sports betting. I know. He's been killing it. He's been taking all my sports bets. He's been on fire, Jarrell. So he's been pretty happy about that. It's cool because the thing is with sports betting, you don't have to really be there, right? You just take the bets and you kind of let them be. Um, Versus trading, you really have to be active for this stuff. So yeah, no, I'm glad he's on it. It's free money basically in a sense, right? It's free money because as long as you take the high probability stuff, you know, you'll make your money back and then some. Yeah, so we only have two sports bets for today, guys. I'll post up the sports bets in the Discord. I'll do that right now, actually. The daily entry is on its way to target, guys, almost to full TP. Yeah, I kind of regret not jumping in. I was really tempted to get in when price kind of dropped down to this lower point, like what Facundo did, but I didn't jump in because I didn't like this market, with it kind of being very spiky and back and forth. stuff like that, especially with the slippage that happened yesterday. It kind of turned me off to taking any entries right now. I just don't like the market this week, how choppy it is and stuff. I prefer to just keep my risk low and stick to these scalps. All right, so there's an entry here for a break and retest as well. The only problem with this is that it's right at the session, so it's not one that I would personally take, but it is a setup right here. I'd probably go to a little lower just to cover the liquidity zone. So like instead of getting in exactly at the top point, probably be like right here to cover the zone. I'm not in this position. I'm just looking at it to kind of see how price respects this liquidity, which it's not respecting. Like I said, we don't trade here at the sessions because this is an area of manipulation, right? So like I mentioned this before, like when price was setting up right here, I said if we get an entry at this point, wouldn't take it because this is where price gets manipulated. And it did exactly that. See how price here came up, faked out at the sessions, and then it came back below. That's a normal occurrence. This is why it's considered red flag and why I don't trade at the sessions like that. But yeah, nothing for me there. The trade again still here on the 10 minute is still running in profit. It's probably gonna take some time here. Let's see. The entry happened at 7 o'clock. So let me just update the strategy report here. I just want to see how long it usually takes for this trade to hit for the most part. So this trade has a 40.91% probability of it winning. Like if you take a trade here with momentum at 7 o'clock, uh, I'd have to like adjust this a little bit. Well, it doesn't really matter. We just want to see how long these trades usually run for. So typically, if you were to take a trade right here, this trade would typically run for about like 30 minutes. So on average, this trade runs for about 30 minutes. For the winning trades, it runs for about 40 minutes. And for the losing trades, it runs for about 30 minutes. So 3 bars for on average, 4 bars for winning trades. Right now, we're currently at the 30-minute candle. So once this candle closes in the next 10 minutes, this is going to be 30 minutes in. So within the next 20 minutes or so, if you guys are in the daily entry, this trade should hit your TP. This is all from the statistics right here for how long it usually takes for it to hit. So if it doesn't hit within the next 20 minutes, like by 7:40, 7:50, then I would be cautious and maybe pull out early for profit. But I think it should hit by then. So this is why it's always key to look back at the algo to see how long the trades usually run for. We don't care about the win percentage because we know it's profitable. What we do care about is the time of it, the time it takes for it to hit on average. So yeah, it should hit target within the next 10 to 20 minutes. Nice. Solange said he got in with he took the daily, first time taking it. iPhone got full TP on it already. Nice work, iPhone. Looks like you probably got in for a discount as well. Daily entry hit for CJ as well. He got in at 46,254. Nice. He got in perfect right there, CJ. Literally at the pivot. It was basically like a market flow V2 setup. Came up, retested right there. Yes, CJ got it. Solange got it. Rest of you guys got it here. Let me just scroll up. I know Masij was talking about I totally missed Masij's question earlier. So Masij has taken one trade, or maybe two. He took an MPS entry. Hey Kim, sorry, I just saw your message too. I missed a lot of these messages. So Kim was asking, any updates on the sports prop accounts that I missed? So guys, I mentioned that there was a prop account that I was testing out. I think it was called the Funded Trader or something like that, or Funded Sports Trader, or whatever the fuck it is, something like that. Don't sign up for that sports prop firm, guys. Hopefully you guys haven't signed up for it. I think I'm gonna ask for a refund. They don't have very many sports on theirs, so it's kind of pointless. I'm in profit with them, but I realize that it's gonna be almost impossible for me to actually make money with them because I'm in profit like a couple $1,000, but they expect me to make like I think like 9,000 or 10,000 bucks, and that's gonna take forever. Um, they don't even have that many sports. I think it's weird that uh I don't even think they're in business, honestly, guys. I think they just never took the website down, and they're not even really in business because a lot of the sports don't get updated. Their API is super off. So I'm probably gonna ask for a refund. If you guys are gonna sports bet, I would say to sports bet your own money. With Kalshi, it's cool because you can sports bet with like a dollar. You don't have to sports bet with a ton, but you can still make pretty good money on it. So I would say if you're gonna sports bet, you just use a sports book or use Kalshi. Because Kalshi you can use as low as a dollar. With a sports book, I mean, you can use as low as a dollar with the sports book too. But these prop firms for sports betting are not good. Or at least haven't found a good one yet. Um, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, no problem, Kim. Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a good, and I realized I make so much more money with just betting my own money that the the prop accounts don't even really matter for the sports books, guys. Like you could just bet a $100 and you'll make way more than you would on these prop accounts. There's too many rules with them too. So yeah, I'm actually gonna ask them for a refund today. Here, let's see if I could even find them. I'm gonna log into my account here. It's called the Funded Sports Trader. See, this is where I find it kind of sketchy. Here, I'll show you guys real quick. Let me log in first. Okay. So I'm in profit right now with them. The thing is they limit like how much you can bet, so it's really hard to get to their goal. So this is the website. Um, this is what I th thought was sport funded sports trader. Okay. See, like their website doesn't even work. I think that's super weird. And if you try to go to the website and you try to sign up, you can't even sign up. Like I had to find a special link to sign up with them. I haven't really taken bets with them for a while. I'm up in profit with them, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to reach the goal. Um, because they want like I don't even remember how much, but yeah, if you look at their games over here, there's not really many games to choose from. Like these are super limited, and a lot of them don't even have money line, which I think is super weird. So I try to test them out and see if they're going to be good. I mean, there's probably gonna be more games once MLB goes in play, but it's impossible. You have to bet on like literally every game for in order for you to like reach the goal. So I think what I might do is I might just kind of just wing it and try to like I guess pass the eval, but they make it really difficult. Yeah, see, like their website doesn't even work. I think this is really weird that their website isn't working. I don't know. I might not even use them anymore, but I don't recommend you guys use them. Just use your own money if you're going to bet on sports betting. Damn, look at this thing. I'm actually glad I'm not in this position because this I think this would have stressed me out a lot if I was in this daily entry for the day. This thing hasn't hit the official TP yet, but it's a lot of you guys that did hit your TP because you got in for a discount, which is great. But look at how this thing's moving. I think after seeing these two wicks, the first wick I would have been like, okay, maybe I should look this a sec, like rethink my position. After seeing this second wick right here, I think this would have been like, man, should I get out of this? I would be second guessing my position at this point. Because look at how it's respecting the New York low. It's such a sharp rejection off that point. It got like maybe a point away from target. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's still on it. Jarrell hit his TP, iPhone got his TP, Talanji got his TP, CJ got his TP. I think Facunda got his TP too. So everyone here pretty much hit their target on the daily. I don't know who's still holding on to it. Um, Yeah, Fakunda, so there it goes. Sean here giving out some free money for us today. Usually my Tuesday and Wednesdays aren't that good. That's common, Facundo. I think even for I'm trying to think of his name. Wilson. Josh, yeah, Josh. I always mix up Josh's name because he goes by his real name is like Wilson, goes by Josh. Josh, he actually doesn't trade on Tuesdays or Wednesdays as well because they're usually not good for him. Mainly Wednesdays. I just saw Josh's message. Josh said, I set a limit order and it missed by 5 points. He said just below the pivots, it retested but didn't fill. Yeah, so he's done for the week. Josh has the same problem you do, Facundo. He usually doesn't have a good Wednesday, so he doesn't trade at all on Wednesday. He tried to get in on this entry right here. I guess he put his limit order like right below the pivots, like what CJ did, but it didn't fill it. It was just too close. So. Yeah, I'm glad you guys locked in some good profits on that. This trade still has time to hit though. So like I remember I mentioned here guys with the algo. The algo said it can take about four candles, so 40 minutes. So it's probably going to hit on this candle right here. It's going to finally just blast right through it. Yeah, because for the winning trades here, it takes about four candles, up to five candles actually. So 4 to 5 candles for it to win. It's only been one, two, three, four. We're currently on the fourth candle. So if it doesn't hit on this one, it's probably going to hit on the next one. So again, it's just a matter of time until it does. But yes, at this very moment, there's nothing. I mean, it's still an active trade, so we'll see. It looks really messy here on the 1 minute though. The 1 minute doesn't look super hot. Let me go over here and check out the algo entries. So algo entry at 6:30. This is not going to be an entry. It was super choppy. So let me go over here real quick to where's the thing at? Damn, I'm like so confused right now. Okay, here it is. The algo trade history. I'm going to update the algo trades right now. So 6:30, for sure nothing there because it's so choppy. So 6:30, no entry chop. 6:46, chop again right there. 6:55. It started pushing up right here, but I'm still going to say that's a no entry chop. 7:06. This right here looks like it would have been a buy. That would have been solid. So I would count that right there as an okay entry. So today so far, the algo entries, uh, there's been one trade, 721. Price started to chop up right here, so I'm going to say no entry chop at 721. And then 722, same thing, no entry chop. So for the day so far, what I've seen here is there's just one entry that came up and it was a win. Yesterday, there was only one entry and it was a loss. So the algo strategy is still working pretty decent, guys. I mean, depending on how you guys are using it, the algo entries. are still good. It's just they don't come up as often, and you have to use a market order, so they kind of suck sometimes. But here's the spreadsheet. So yesterday was a losing day for the algo. It had a loss at 721. Today was a win, so currently we're up 1 hour for the week so far. So yeah, one loss last yesterday and then one win today, which was at 706. So again, if you guys want to take the algo entry, there's nothing wrong with the algo entry. It's just you have to be very selective about the ones you decide to take. When market's chopping up like this, obviously you don't get into anything. When price is actually going directional like this, then yes, jump into the position. So only one algo entry for today so far, which was at 706 right here. On this candle close, would have rolled that up higher. And finally, a full TP right here on the daily entry, if you guys caught that. So full TP right there for the daily, 150 points. You guys see update there. All right. So let me go over here real quick. Let's give you guys the update. Okay, so the entry right here for the daily came up at 710. So two back-to-back wins for the daily entry today or this week so far, guys. A little bit of a tricky entry, but it did come up right there. It played out perfect. No scalps for me today. But yeah, there goes. So two back-to-back wins for the daily entry so far. Pretty nice setup right there. For those of you who caught it, I mean, it did take a while for it to hit, but eventually it did hit for a full TP. So great work to you guys there who caught that trade. If you guys didn't catch it, it's completely fine. I didn't even get into it myself because um so this is always tricky when the daily entry happens at like before 7:15. Like if this entry would have happened in 5 minutes later, because this entry happened at 7:10, right? If this entry would have happened 10 minutes later or 5 minutes later at 7:15, I wouldn't be looking for these scalps here, right? Because initially I was looking for the scalps here. And fortunately, but unfortunately, this thing filled like just a few minutes before my actual entry. So you can see it filled on this candle right here. This was at 7:13. So we were just 2 minutes away from me getting into that daily entry. This is why it's kind of hard because if you're applying two different strategies, they require two different types of analyses and setup requirements, right? So I was looking for a scalp right here between 6:30 and 7:15, and the scalp was setting up here, but it didn't actually set up. And then the daily entry came up right here, like literally just minutes before it. But if I would have, if this would have happened like maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, I would have still gotten into the entry because the entry would have still played out right here at the 300. So it's all good. I mean, this is where it kind of overlaps. You have to decide if you want to take the daily entry, if you want to take the scalp entry, because I can't take both, right? The daily entry has a 75 point stop loss, and then the scalps have a 30 point stop loss. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get into that daily entry because I was looking for the scalp, but it is what it is. So I'm glad you guys took it. There's only one trade for the day. It was a win for the daily entry right there, 150 points. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it, so it's all good. I mean, this could have played out either way, right? I could have gotten into the scalp and then I could have gotten into the daily, but it just didn't play out in our favor that way. I mean, that would have been nice if I got scalp and then daily entry. That'd be uh that'd be 220 points in profit for the day if there was two entries, but there wasn't. There was just one. So Joe said, is there a time frame for when Messi's bot will be available? Yes, what Daniel said, he said mid-April if anything, if everything goes well. So Messi is making changes to it. If you guys remember earlier, he hasn't posted his profits, or has he? Kind of. Yeah, he hasn't posted it yet. So Facundo over here locked in pretty good profit right here on two of his accounts. He locked in 437 on his first one and then 798 on the second one. Great work, Facundo, unlocking that in. But yeah, so Masij mentioned over here, he kind of changed things up a little bit. He was taking a lot of riskier trades. He's now trading kind of like how I am for the most part. He's only looking for like one or two trades. Before he was looking for two to three trades, but he's taken off one of the riskier strategies, the higher high, lower low reversal strategy he was applying. And he's just taking mainly like a lot of the main ones that I'm applying, like the MPS and stuff like that. So today he took the MPS. I know he has at least one win. He might have two wins. But yeah, his entry time was over here between 6:30 and 7:15. So I'm just looking to see if there was any MPS entries. There's only one here that I saw. So he took this one right here. It was a buy signal. Price broke above right here, retested, and then I think he entered like right here for MPS. So yeah, I know there's one that he confirmed he took right there. Yeah, 702. Yep, exactly. Either right there or he would have taken it right here. I mean, either one. I mean, they both would have hit. So whether he took this one right here when it crossed over and it retested I mean, it did retest the sessions, but it did close above it. So he either took that one right there or he took it right here. It doesn't really matter which one. They both would have hit. Um, so yeah, either one. Or he might have taken both. I don't know. So he might have taken the 7 o'clock one or the 7 o'clock one and the 702. But either way, he just went for an MPS entry for today. So yeah, we'll see what his profits are. I think he's going to post up the totals a little later once he gets back on. But right now, that's what he's got. All right, guys. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. It is 7:50 right now. We're getting closer to 8 o'clock, so pretty much going to be done with the trading day. Again, today there's just one entry, the daily entry, which came up. Didn't get into it, unfortunately, but I mean, the daily entry is doing what it's supposed to do, right? It's on fire this week. Yesterday it won 150 points. Today it won 150 points, like little to no drawdown. No, actually, yesterday there was a drawdown. This thing went really close to stop. And then today too, it went pretty far down. Not super far, but far enough. It dropped about like 46 points into drawdown before it shot all the way back up. But yeah, if you guys can get that discount, I would get it. Right? If you had the ability to get the discount for entry. You're kind of like it's tricky though, because if you're looking for that discount, you'll either miss the trade or I mean, it usually doesn't end up pretty well. It doesn't end up well at all. Um, okay, let's see. Damn, look at this big spike up, guys. See, this is what I was just saying, right? Look at these big candles. They come out of nowhere. I don't even know what's causing this right here. 751. I mean, there must be something going on with the war. Let me update to see if there's any breaking news. But this is why I don't like holding on to stuff for too long. So Moody's cut rating, private credit fund run by KKR. Yeah, this is why the daily entry I'm a lot more concerned about because this stuff, like, imagine you're in the daily entry right now. I mean, yeah, great. It'd go in your direction of your trade, but imagine if it went opposite of your trade, right? This candle right here is almost a 200 point candle. This is why I'm opting to scalps versus than the bigger moves because look at this right here. That's almost a 200 point candle. And then if you look over here, this is a 300 point candle like, within 2 minutes. You guys see how crazy that is? That's why for me, I'm not really, although I do like the 10-minute and I like the daily entry, this is what I'd be concerned about because yeah, this is great. It pushed in the direction of your trade, but what if this spiked the other way? Then you're totally fucked, right? It's like you don't know what's going to happen here because there's so much stuff like behind the scenes. I talked to other hedge fund managers. A lot of them aren't really like a lot of them swing trade. but more of them are leaning towards scalping now. A lot of them are going down to the 1 minute like what we are because they're worried about getting basically screwed if the market just kind of spikes randomly, right? Like you could be in a big position and all of a sudden it just spikes and it'll stop you out. Like not even a huge position, but like for example, a 75-point stop loss compared to what our normal stop loss is. On a scalp trade, I limit my risk quite a bit, right? This is a scalp trade. It's like a not it's like a quarter of what a big move would be. And this allows us to get out quickly, right? Versus you holding on to this position for like an hour and then you're just kind of counting the minutes until it spikes and it either hits your target or hits your stop loss. So that's why I'm kind of moving away from the daily entry. I'm not completely away from it, but I'm not really I'm mainly looking for some scalps versus the daily entry. Even though it does hit, it's like I got a lot of money involved. So, if I get hit with some slippage like yesterday, it's gonna really mess up the accounts. So the ATR is not super bad right now. It's currently at 123. If you guys remember yesterday, what was the ATR yesterday, CJ? It was pretty crazy. Let me go over here real quick. So the ATR yesterday, almost 200. That's crazy, right? It was over 200. So it was at like 226. That's pretty massive for like comparing this here. So 190 compared to today, 120. This is still pretty high. It should be closer to like 90. Like under 100 is usually average, but like today it's over 123. So it's still a little excessive, but it's not as much as yesterday, 200. Um, But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of that's my take on the market, guys. Of course, if you guys like to swing trade or take bigger trades, that's completely fine. That's up to you. But from my experience and from, talking to other hedge fund managers who typically trade on the higher time frames and hold longer, a lot of them are doing what I'm doing. They're dropping down to the lower time frames and they're kind of just getting in and out when they can, to limit their risk, right? So yeah, market's changing. We talked about this. I talked about this earlier. Like the thing with trading, guys, is and I hate that this is like a big thing. If someone tells you that you can be a part-time trader or you can just trade like on the side, it's complete bullshit, guys, because you have to be in the market. Like you have to really know what's going on. Maybe at some point in the past, like when the market was really slow, you could probably trade part-time, but the thing is this year and last year, the market's been changing almost every month, right? Last year was a big change. Like we went from like a really slow market to tariffs coming in like from like March up until like September. We had tariffs in March, and then every couple of months it would be a government shutdown or some more tariffs, and then it would just like screw up the market. And then we still had the Ukraine war going on around that time, which is still going on now. People kind of forgot about it because of the Iran war. But every couple months there's something new happening. There's some type of global thing happening, right? There's tariffs, there's wars, there's just a lot of crazy things happening. So every like month there's always like a different type of like market regime that's happening. So it's that's just how it is. I mean, the market regime is always changing. It's always it's either choppy or it's either directional, but it doesn't last long enough. Like usually the market moves in seasons. The market typically moves in seasons. So usually this time is a good time to just take a lot of directional moves, right? From like January up until like June. And then the market starts to slow down for the summer. I don't think the market's going to slow down for the summer this year because we have the Iran war going on. It's not going to end anytime soon. They're starting to drop troops out there. Um, this is going to go on for like the next year or so. So yeah, just expect the market regime to change more and more often. So we'll uh we'll see what happens. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, large random spike just stopped me out of my 740 algo entry. I'm glad I got other entries today, but to offset this loss, either way, I'm done for the day. Yeah, CJ. I agree with you. So for a while, we did like the 10 minute. We moved to the 10 minute for about a month or two, and the 10 minute was great. It's just you start to get these random spike candles that kind of come out of nowhere that will like really screw up your position. I mean, unless you have a really, really wide stop loss, like I don't know if nobody's gonna have a 300 point stop loss. Like I can tell you that, unless you're trading on like the daily or something like that or the weekly. I mean, even if you were to trade on the daily or the weekly, let's go on the daily here. See, if you look at the daily chart, there's a lot more chop than there is. Well, I mean, there was more chop over here, like in January. It started to move more directional here once the war kind of like took off. But yeah, I mean, the market regime here is it just changes more often than not. And I think so. Let's see. Let's just measure these ranges here. So, for example, the ATR today. Let's just compare the ATRs. So the ATR today right now is at 877 on the daily. Let's just go to like a random date in like let's go to February, early in the month. See, this is a big change. We went from like 500 ATR, 584 to like 800 ATR. So the volume is like way higher. Let's go over here to say January. See, 500 is a little more average. You could drop it. Let me go to random bar, or I can't even go to random bar. Let's go to December. See, 500 ATR is normal. 400 ATR is normal. 500. So we go between 500 and 400. That's just like normal ATR. This is when the first tariffs started happening in March. ATR is up to 700. January. So you can see 500 is normal. When it's around that point, that's just normal how market normally moves. See 400, 500, etc. I'm just dropping it on random dates. 400 right there. Let's go to July of 2024. 400 is slower market. Let's go to April of last year or 2 years ago, 300. So you guys see how the volume here is picked up quite a bit because there's so much crazy stuff happening. Like we go to 2023. See, this is like where it used to be normal. Normal used to be 300. Now it's like 500. And then today it's like 800 because of all this other stuff. Let's go to 2022. See, 500 is like the average. We went from 2022 to this date, or earlier this year is 500 is like normal market structure and movement. 2020 was when COVID happened. So I'm just kind of showing you guys the average here so you guys can kind of see 600. This is when COVID, we were getting out of COVID. So you can see the volatility. Whenever we go through like these crazy things that are happening in the world, the volatility gets really, really high. 500, let's go to 2020. So when COVID just started. See, look at this is COVID. Look at the ATR. This is un this is not normal, right? 1,497 ATR. So again, we compare that to today. We're currently at 800. So it's very high in compared to like what it should be. 500 is like normal, 800 is very high. So I mean the main difference is that you have to have wider stops and stuff like that. But even if you did, it still makes it difficult for you to really survive any of these drawdowns that happen or these random spikes. A lot of times you just have to eat the losses. When these big spikes happen, you just got to eat the losses because it's not there's nothing wrong with your strategy or anything that you're doing. It's just you just get caught at the entry at the wrong time. That's basically what happened yesterday, right? So yesterday we took that position. Unfortunately, it spiked us out and then went straight up to profit. And yeah, I could have jumped back into a position or revenge traded or got into something and maybe recouped it, but then that would just go against my whole trading criteria, right? It would just screw up everything. So, all right, let's see what we got over here. So here's CJ's entries for the day. So CJ locked in, let's see. First entry right there was a 10-minute algo entry for zone to zone. So CJ got into this first one right here, rode that to the next zone. The daily entry was right here for a buy. And then this one over here stopped CJ out, unfortunately. That big green candle that spiked up stopped him out right there. Which is all good. That just goes back to what I was saying earlier, right, CJ? You just got to eat those losses sometimes. They happen. There's not much you can do about it. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to hop into the chat. I haven't taken any trades today. There's only two sports bets that are going to be available for today, guys. Here, I'll put them in the chat right now, actually. So if you guys are on the Discord, I'm posting the picks for today. I'm not going to get into anything yet, but I'm probably going to get into the Hurricanes. I just have to confirm the odds, make sure the odds are good. If they're not good, I'm just going to wait until they balance out later. Yeah. So there's only two plays for the day, the Pelicans and the Knicks. The odds are really bad, so I'm not taking that one. The next one's gonna be Hurricanes versus Canadians. I'm gonna be betting on the Hurricane money line, which is 135. It's probably gonna change as time progresses, so I'll probably go back and take a look at that. But yeah, this is gonna be my main bet for the day. It's not a great bet, but it's um it's a B plus trade. So if the odds are good, it's worth taking. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Again, there's no entries that I took today. There's only one entry that came up, which was official, which was the daily entry, which I didn't take because it lined up with my scalp, and I was looking to get into the scalp, not the daily. And unfortunately, I missed the entire move. So it's all good. Sometimes it happens. But all right, guys, that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys here tomorrow, same place, same time, as we continue on with this trading week. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys here tomorrow.